These two teams, in their last two matchups, have given us a couple games that you got to go back and watch again because so much happens in them. We're going to work backwards here. The Bears are offered an opportunity on a rainy night by Jayden Daniels, but they take that opportunity. What did you see on that final drive by Chicago, Mac?
Well, before we talk about the offensive drive, let's give the defense their praise and their just due. The entire night, they fought. When there were mishaps on the offensive side in terms of penalty and just not executing, the defense were coming on the football field, finding a way. That's what you want to see if you're a Chicago Bears fan, because it's all about defense. You start the conversation regarding that organization about the defense. Monsters of the Midway is what they were built on. That's the name. Now they're trying to implement that style of play once again. 13 points off of turnovers offensively. Those turnovers that were created by the Chicago Bears in a moment where the game was locked and loaded for Washington to seal the deal. They forced a turnover. Whatever you want to say about how it happened, they created a turnover. They got the ball back to Caleb Williams, and he was able to do what he was called to do, which is lead to a game-winning field goal.
I love the point you make there about the defense, because we saw this defense struggle in the middle of this game. Sort of dominated, couple early takeaways. Then things started to open up for Jayden Daniels. But it's a group that in the past has let go of the rope. In this building, and then in every game that followed that a season ago, Emery, they're being coached differently. Are you seeing a growing belief in that group to stay in the fight?
Yes, and we bring this up every time we talk about offensive football and how coaches say, hey, today we're going to run the football. Like, no, you're not, coach. That's a mentality that starts back in December, starts in winter workouts. And when you're saying, hey, we're going to be a team that plays aggressive and turn the ball over, you can tell that mindset started in the spring with the Chicago Bears under Dennis Allen, because they have been turning the ball over the last 2 weeks. And this is the third week we've seen them turn the ball over, which has resulted in wins for the Chicago Bears. So it's a mindset, it's in their DNA, and it's been preached from April to now. And that's why when they got down, when they gave up some touchdowns, they went right back out there. They already knew what the plan was. Hey, we got to get the ball back for our offense. And because it's already in their DNA, they had no problems. And yes, it wasn't a forced turnover, but they fell on the ball.
Yeah.
How many times we talk about offensive teams fumbling the football and they can't find the football and they get the ball back, right? The Bears find the football. They find a way to make plays. A play don't care who makes it. It just wants to be made, and the Bears defense did what they needed to do to get the ball back.
And one thing about turnovers, guys, they come in bunches and they're contagious. Once you get that rhythm, it happens weekly.
Yep.
It just happens, and that's what they're creating now in Chicago, and that's a very good group.
Dennis Allen said his standard is 3 takeaways a game. That's exactly what they get, and they needed every last one of them. Again, Mac,
Yes,
13 points off those turnovers. But I see a smiling heart on Emery Hunt as it is running back night in the NFL. You said
really
pregame, you're going to be the last man standing for DeAndre Swift. And did that man stand up and play in this game? The leading rusher and receiver for the Bears. Where did the game open up or come to him?
When you get consistent carries as a tailback, it's called getting into a running back groove. And you saw him start to feel it in terms of the run game. He started to feel what the defense was doing. He was anticipating how they were trying to game plan for him and game plan for the run game, and he was able to counter off of that. And once he got into the groove, the vision was always there. The wiggle has always been there, and you saw him understand situational football. That, to me, is where I thought he stood out the most. This last drive, getting down on the ground right there, that was a smart heads-up play. Then they give the ball to him again, knowing, anticipate, thrive, and when you have that talent on top of being able to feel it, like we saw him do it tonight, in the sloppy field with the misty rain. We talked about this pregame. This is the worst type of weather because the ball gets slick. I'd rather be a pouring rainstorm as opposed to what they had tonight, because now you see the ball was all on the ground, but he didn't fumble. He locked in. He was outstanding tonight, and a big reason why they won this game. Don't ever let them say that boy can't play.
I can tell you this much. I'm okay in seeing this offensive mindset for Chicago. Run the football, play good defense. That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay to orchestrate when you're trying to win ball games. And to your point, that's been an issue for Washington defensively, stopping opposing offenses' rushing attack. So exploit the matchup in your favor. And to your point, the traction was a bit of an issue, but not for DeAndre Swift. Boy, he was out there skating. It was like it was a clear day in terms of his traction and his ability to cut precisely while running full speed. He was the guy that got everything going and kept everything going, not just in the running game, but the willingness to stay up on that flat route that he caught. Usually that's a 7 or 8 yard gain. He was determined to stay up. And of course, the defensive back not bringing his arms, DeAndre ran through that tackle for a huge touchdown reception. So to your point, for some reason coming into this ball game, the volume wasn't there. But I can tell you this much, moving forward, you're not going to question will he get the opportunities. He's going to get his totes, and if that's the case, he probably will give you sound production like he did tonight.
We said coming into this game what we understood of these two teams is the Bears might struggle to run it against this run defense tonight. Not the case. No. We also said that the Commanders might have their way on the ground with this Bears rush defense.
Not the case.
Couldn't get it going, couldn't get it into flow. 3.6 yards a carry for Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, 17 for 61. We see Jayden Daniels affect the game with his legs also in this one. But I want to go broader here on Washington, not to suggest that a fate waits for them as the one did for the Bears a year ago, but this is a game that ends in an odd way for a team. Are they equipped to withstand this type of loss and move forward? Because there are questions across this roster of the explosivity down the field. We didn't see that also a rainy night. You take a look at the schedule and what's out in front of them, Mac. How does this loss affect Washington moving forward?
It's a tough situation because this is a game they should have won. Chicago tried to give this game to Washington. When you talk about the penalties, 9 penalties for almost 90 yards.
I'd love to do an audit on those penalties. We're not going to waste any time.
The red zone woes, settling for field goals. When you talk about the special teams miscue, this game was set up for Washington to win, but just the sloppy nature that they played with allowed Chicago to do what they did. And hats off for Chicago for creating those set opportunities. But now, moving forward for Washington, when you look at the neighborhood action, and when I reference the neighborhood action, that's the divisional action that they're in the midst of. You look at the New York Giants. If you're a New York Giants fan and you watch Washington tonight, you already seen what has been happening with Philly and Dallas. You like your chances. Hey, even if you're the Dallas Cowboys, we know you don't play any defense, but because of your offense, you like your chances. And I'll say this is the second week in October, something I never thought I would say.
He's got that on his wall.
And the second week in October, the entire NFC East is wide open.
Yeah.
It's wide open. Really, it is. And it's hard to say when you look at the first 4 weeks of the season with Philly and how well they were playing, even though there were some struggles. When you talk about the Dallas Cowboys, the inability to stop anybody, and then you talked about Washington. But when you look at what is happening now, the entire NFC East is wide open. So that's what this loss did for Washington. Every other fan of the team in the NFC East believe they got a fighting chance, even if you're the Dallas Cowboys. And guess what? This upcoming week, guess who plays each other? The Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Commanders. So if you're Dallas, you have an opportunity to correct all of the wrong that took place in Charlotte if you find a way to kick some more dirt on the Commanders.
And that's when the getting is good.
Yes,
Everybody
sir.
with a chance
Divisional
in the
football.
East. In the NFC North, all are above 500 as we head to Week 7. The Chicago Bears telling